good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Hall and welcome to Council Chambers. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And this morning, our invocation will be given by Father Raju with Saint Peter, Prince of the Apostle Church.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today, seeking your guidance and wisdom as we begin this City Council meeting. We thank you for the privilege to serve our community, and we ask for your presence to be with us as we discuss and make decisions that will impact the lives of those we represent. Grant us the wisdom to discern what is best for the common good, the courage to make difficult decisions with integrity, and the humility to listen to each other with open hearts and minds. Help us to set aside personal interests so that we may work together for justice, peace, and the flourishing of all in our city. May your grace be upon us as we strive to serve with fairness, compassion, and a spirit of unity. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Father. And our pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the Texas state flag will be led by Jonathan Zaki Hinojosa. He attends Los Encinos Elementary. He has perfect attendance and he excels. That's right. Where did he go? No, just kidding. And he excels in perseverance in completing his work diligently. That is what the teacher said about him. So go ahead. That's right.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me to honor the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee. Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Jonathan, thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, he's walking off on his own. Yeah. It's like, bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. Okay, Ms. Huerta, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Paulette Guajardo.
Present.
Council members Roland Barrera.
Here.
Sylvia Campos. Gil Hernandez. Michael Hunter.
Here.
Jim Klein.
Here.
Mike Pesley. Everett Roy.
Here.
Dan Suckley.
Here.
City Manager Peter Zanoni.
Present.
City Attorney Miles Risley.
Here.
Mayor and Council, a quorum of the Council and the required charter officers are present to conduct the meeting.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Huerta. So now we'll go to item E, our city manager's comments and update on city operations. Mr. Zanoni.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. And good morning, Mayor and members of the council and the community. We have two items on the city manager's report today. And the first one is to make sure everybody is aware of the Texas Jazz Festival that will take place later this week and into the weekend. And so it is the 63rd annual Jazz Festival, and it's held at our Heritage Park beginning this Friday, October 18th through Sunday, October 20th. And according to the Texas Jazz Festival Society, the Jazz Festival has been a staple in our community and is the longest and largest free-running jazz festival around, with many visitors coming to Corpus Christi from across the state and as well as the U.S. to hear the performances. So this year, the festival will include over 50 live band performances. There'll be 45 craft vendors and 14 food trucks through the weekend. The anticipated attendance is expected to be about 30,000 people over that 3-day period. So the Jazz Festival is open to all ages, and again, it's free. And just to remind you of the time, so Friday, October 18, it will begin at 5:30 p.m. and it'll go to midnight. And then Saturday, they'll resume at noon, and that'll go into the early morning hours to 1 a.m. to participate there. And then Sunday, October 20th, it'll pick back up again at noon, and it'll conclude at 6 p.m. on Sunday. So 3 good days of jazz. The city and the Texas Jazz Festival Society, as they have in the past couple of years, have partnered with our partners at RTA to provide free shuttle service as a park and ride service to Heritage Park from 3 locations. So if you don't want to deal with parking in the vicinity, you can park your vehicle and take a free bus ride. Those 3 park and ride locations include the City Hall parking lot right here, Nueces County Courthouse parking lot, and then down at Texas A&M University near the bus stop, or at the bus stop on Ocean Drive by the Performing Arts Center. So that would be the Texas A&M University park and ride location. So at this time, I'd like to invite Nick Martinez. He was here the last couple of years. He is the president of the Jazz Festival Society. He's going to say a few words, and then he's going to introduce a video that they prepared as well to highlight the event. Nick, thank you for being here today.
Thank you,
yes, sir.
Mr. Sononi. First of all, I want to thank Paulette Guajardo for supporting us and the council. You're a great staff, great, wonderful people helping us. Mr. Sergio Gonzalez here helped out, and Mr. Bob Robert Dodd, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chief of Police. Mr. Marco, thank you, sir, and his staff, and they all help out. Just to let you know that these guys are on call at all times and do a wonderful job. This year we won't have the Texas Guard helping us this year, so they might have to do a little bit more than they usually typically do, but they do a very good job. Thank you.
They're up for it.
And again, thank everybody that's involved. I'm probably missing some people, but hopefully not, right? And but I do want to say that this thing started in actually 1959 as a jam session, and if you know what a typical jam session is, these band members got together and they were trying to have a little good time, and they decided that people wanted to come and listen to them. So it started at Del Mar College, and of course Beto Garcia and his staff, and his group, Eddie Olivares, the Galvan family, Wanda Gregory, and all these people got together and decided to make a band and set up a jam session, right? Well, people came from all over. They came from all over the city, and some people came from out of the city, from San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas. And we continue to have that support to those cities. And I just want to, let everybody know where our money goes to when we do raise funds. And we also give money to Texas A&M University, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Kingsville, and Del Mar College. We also give money to, charities, churches, and things like that ask for support. So with that said, I want to thank everybody. Thank the staff of Corpus Christi, City Police, and also the fire department. They also volunteer as first aid groups, so they'll be there, and they've always been there. So thank you very much. And with that said, I can continue with the video.
Yeah, we're going to roll that video now. This will give you just a quick highlight of some of the festivities that take place.
Since 1961, music has filled the air of the Texas Jazz Festival. 3 solid days of live music on 3 different stages. Fantastic food, charming market vendors, and more. The largest, longest-running free jazz festival in the world. It's one of the best ways to leave your troubles behind, soaking in the sounds of cool jazz. As fall begins in the Coastal Bend, it's free, fun, live entertainment at Heritage Park, October 18th through the 20th. A unique music experience that is the Texas Jazz Festival.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everybody.
Great. Yeah, Nick, thank you so much for being here today and for putting this on.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. Great. Okay, Mayor and Council, our second item is to announce a completed project. And Kevin Smith, our airport director, is here as well. Just want to point him out in the audience. But this next item is to highlight improvements at our Corpus Christi International Airport that include a new outdoor patio and an indoor lounge to be operated by Nueces Brewing and Barbecuing. So the 1,200 square foot elevated outdoor patio space that has been in the works for some time, we've known about it, offers panoramic views of the airfield and surrounding area. Kevin took me out there last week, and it's looking great. It features glass walls. There's a service animal relief area, complete with a fire hydrant and some, right? And there's plenty of seating for travelers, especially on mornings like this morning that are nice and cool to relax and enjoy the great outdoors. Spa Glass is the construction firm that managed the improvements for this project, which was completed earlier this month on October 3rd. The grand opening, though, will be this Thursday, right? Thursday, people can start to use it. A good thing about this is 90% of the funding came from the federal government, from the Federal Aviation Administration, and 10% came from airport revenues. And those revenues do not include the city's general fund. It does not include property tax or sales tax. So it's all the revenues that come from the airport rentals and airlines paying to use our space there. So located in front of the patio between gates 1 and 3 is the new lounge, Nueces Brewing Bar, which is a locally owned, and we know a locally owned and town favorite for their local craft beers and Texas barbecue. The lounge features a horseshoe-shaped bar. There's several TVs, there's charging ports for your cell phones and computers, and separate seating that accommodates up to 23 people. And this will open on Thursday, so we'll get a chance to use that beginning Thursday. Construction of the new lounge was completed by South Texas Building Partners. They've done a lot of projects for the city, and this project was funded by Tailwind Concessions, which is our concessionaire at the airport. They're our food and beverage provider, so they paid for this construction, and they'll recoup the cost for the construction with the leases that they'll have in the future. Tailwind, just as a side note, is working on several projects that'll come next at the airport, including Joe's Coffee. There'll be Amazon Just Walk Out store. There'll be a VIP lounge, and we know from council approving this action some time ago, Salty Oak Barbecue will be a concessionaire there as well at the airport. See, these are projects that come on board now that these two projects are done. So the recent enhancements at the airport offer a multitude of benefits for both the travelers and our local community, providing a new relaxing space to unwind and a wider variety of drinking and beverage options for people that leave Corpus Christi and then people that may arrive and may be waiting on people to pick them up. So the enhancements also contribute to the airport's overall image and visitor experience, positioning us to be a modern and more welcoming facility. I should say we're a very modern and welcoming facility, but this helps us to get even more so. The new amenities, as I mentioned, will be open to the public Thursday. Is that Thursday morning, Kevin, if you're leaving out? I don't know if you're going to buy a drink that early, but Thursday morning. And it's expected to generate revenue through increased beverage and food purchases, further benefiting the airport. That's a self-supported enterprise. It doesn't rely on any local taxes to run. So, Kevin, congratulations to you. I know many times I've been up there, you've been actively engaged in the project, even looking at some of the real fine details to making sure they're absolutely perfect, and that's what we like. So thank you for that. We do have a small video to show in case people won't be going out there anytime soon to show you these features, and we're going to roll that now.
The Corpus Christi International Airport completed a significant upgrade with the addition of a new outdoor patio and a new Nueces Brewing Bar. The 1,200 square foot elevated space offers panoramic views of the airfield and surrounding area. It features glass walls, a service animal relief area, and plenty of seating for travelers to relax and enjoy the scenery. Located in front of the patio is the new Nueces Brewing Bar. It features a horseshoe-shaped bar, TVs, charging ports, and separate seating accommodating up to 23 people. These enhancements offer a multitude of benefits for both travelers and the local community, providing a new relaxing space to unwind and a wider variety of dining and drinking options.
That's great. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's it. So make sure you stop in and see it for traveling public. Kevin, I don't know if you want to add anything else. Okay, I think we have it all covered. So congratulations to our contractors and especially our local businesses who will make this a new destination for our traveling public. Thank you. So Mayor and Council, that concludes the City Manager's report for this morning.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Well, it's 11:46, so we're going to go ahead. Well, no, we don't have the, do we have the
We do have
list
some
yet?
presentations, Mayor, if you want to start one.
You know what? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not used to them
Yeah, they
being
switched.
ahead. Yes, we have a couple more items before our public comment period. So item number 3 is the Nueces County Appraisal District Appointment Process Briefing. Ryan, okay.
morning, Mayor and Council. Ryan Skabarczyk, Director of Intergovernmental Relations. Here just with a brief reminder about the new process for the Nueces County Appraisal District. So moving forward, City of Corpus Christi will participate with the other eligible taxing entities to now vote on the available seats on the NCAD Board of Directors. For perspective and context, that's where the City of Corpus Christi ranks in order of taxing entities under NCAD's jurisdiction. You've seen this slide before, and this was sent to you via a memo from the NCAD Executive Director as well as our City Secretary. But this gives you some perspective on the number of votes that the City of Corpus Christi will have in this voting process. The City of Corpus Christi, under this formula laid out under state law, is entitled to 1,100 votes in a total universe of 5,005 votes. Your current NCAD, well actually your board of directors prior to the legislature making changes to appraisal districts was made up of the following individuals with their appointing entities. So where previously the City of Corpus Christi had 2 direct appointments to the NCAD Board of Directors, that obviously is changing. So if you'll recall, the City of Corpus Christi went through a nominations process where we sent a resolution to the appraisal district. All the other taxing entities had the same opportunity to do so. And the ballot has been returned to the City of Corpus Christi in early October. By the second public meeting, you, council, will have to return your ballot back with our votes allotted to our preferred candidates. And so these are the nominated individuals that will be present on the ballot. And then we've also shown here who the nominating entities are that have put them forward. As you can see, almost every nominated individual was put forward by one entity with the exception of Mrs. Sullivan, who was put forward by several. So next week, you'll have the opportunity to hopefully have gotten all your thoughts together on this brand new process we're all participating in the first time for the City of Corpus Christi, and allot your votes accordingly as a council. Mayor, I'm standing ready for any questions.
Okay. I don't see any questions, Ryan. We appreciate the briefing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And our next item, number 4, is a briefing from the Art Museum of South Texas.
Hello. Good to see you all. Sarah Morgan with the Art Museum of South Texas. Thank you for inviting me to be here today to give you an update on what we're doing down there. Do I have my presentation? There. So everything we do at the Art Museum of South Texas relates back to our mission, and that mission is to advance the awareness, the appreciation of the visual arts, and we do that through providing exceptional exhibitions, dynamic education programs, by actively collecting and preserving our art collection. And we do that for all of our community, all of our visitors. So, how do we do that? Our exceptional exhibition program, we just closed the King Ranch, A Legacy in Art, Paintings by Noe Perez exhibition. It was very popular. The significance of the King Ranch in our area really brought people to the museum to see that work. And then also the fact that we could honor Noe Perez, who's a local artist. He spent his career as an engineer, and since retirement he has really just taken off and become an internationally acclaimed artist. So we were really happy to focus the spotlight on someone local like that. The next exhibition that we just opened in September was Target Texas Studio Practices. Target Texas is a biennial exhibition that we put on that always focuses on Texas artists, some emerging, some well-established, but we always have a theme around that. This year the theme is Studio Practices, so it kind of dives into how are these artists influenced by the area that they work in, and so there's a great mix of artwork there. It does feature one local artist, Elena Rodriguez, and then also Kermit Oliver, who was born and raised in Refugio. He lives in Waco now, but we'll forgive him for that. That show will be on display until January 26th. Then our 2025 exhibition schedule, we have a wide array, lots of variety for next year. We will start the year with Home, Love, and Loss. We are in a cohort with 3 other Texas museums, Amon Carter Museum of Art in Fort Worth, Amarillo Museum of Art, and Ellen Noel in Midland. And this is the 3rd exhibition that we've worked on as a cohort. This exhibition will focus, put the spotlight on kind of everyday life and things that happen to all of us, experiences that we all go through, and it will all be pulled from the collections of all 4 of those museums. So we really are trying to work together to get the artwork that we hold in public trust out so the public can see it, so it's not just sitting in our vaults. So we'll start the year with that exhibition. Then the next one we'll open in May is the Wyeths, 3 Generations, from the collection, works from the collection of the Bank of America. You may all be familiar with Andrew Wyeth, but his father was also an artist, and 2 of his children were artists. And so this is 3 generations of the Wyeths family artwork, spanning from early 1900s to present day. I think the popularity, the notoriety of the Wyeths is really going to bring people in there, and I think they'll be surprised to see so much creativity in one family. At the same time, simultaneously, we're going to have a really important exhibition for Corpus Christi. It's the Chapman Collection. It's the personal collection of Louise Chapman. And she started collecting years ago with her husband. I think that what visitors to the museum are going to really see is the art of collecting, becoming a collector. It really doesn't take a lot of start collecting with what you want. And then she's been able to amass a really important collection here. And I think people are going to be surprised when they see some of the artwork that is actually in a collection here in town. So we're honored to be able to honor Louise Chapman and do this. And then we will wind up the year with our TAMU-CC Art and Design Faculty Exhibition. We do that every 2 years, and it's our opportunity to spotlight the incredible artwork, the incredible faculty at the university. They're so exceptional. They are the ones that are teaching and instructing our future artists, and so we love being able to put the spotlight on them and showcase what they're doing out there. Education, of course, is at the forefront of everything that we do. Every 2 years we do a youth art exhibition, and this summer we did War Toys Ukraine. It's a photographer that goes into war-torn areas with art therapists and works with the children. And so the children are able to recreate through drawing experiences that they've had, and then the photographer takes those drawings and he recreates them in the devastated areas using toys. And it really was, the benefit of this exhibition was so amazing. I mean, not only did it help the children, there was a lot of art healing for them, but it created a lot of empathy in all of our visitors. It was hugely successful. The staff spent a lot of time in there. It was a pretty amazing exhibition. We'll start the year next year with Visionarios, our youth art competition. It's our 23rd year to do this. It's the largest art competition in Corpus Christi. Gives kids the opportunity to put that art back into their core curriculum. It gives us an opportunity to recognize them for their creativity and their hard work. It's a juried exhibition. The top prizes in each category, there's cash prizes, there's also scholarships with the university and with Del Mar, and very popular, and each year it keeps increasing. I mean, you can see the line of people that come out for the Family Day Awards presentation. Hands down, our most successful, our favorite exhibition of the year is the Christmas Tree Forest. This is our 15th year to do that. We could bring Pablo Picasso back from the dead and have him painting in the galleries, and more people would come out for the Christmas Tree Forest. I mean, they just love this exhibition. So we partner with the Junior League of Corpus Christi and HEB, and we invite local schools and homeschoolers to pick a tree and come decorate it. It's based on a popular children's book. Visitors to the museum get to vote on their favorite, and then there's cash prizes provided by HEB for the top 3 trees. Oh, and the best part, the trees go to families. So we take them down, and the trees are able to go to homes that might not have a Christmas tree that year. Summer camp, we have a 10-week, 10 one-week session summer camp, fine artist summer camp. It focuses on building those art skills. There's a drama component, and there's also the ability for gallery exploration, and it ends with a really powerful performance on the final day. So that's very fun. I'll say we've also been able to build up our scholarship on that. We've really sought funding for that. So I would say 25 to 30% of the kids that attend are there on scholarship. We have an MOU with the Antonio E. Garcia Center. We provide programming over there. We do two-week sessions in the summer, the VIK camp. Again, it's drama and art activity focused. But then we also provide during the school year our Arts After School program. And so kids can come there, kids that live in or near the area can come there after school. And we provide art activities and art enrichment activities for them. And then the university provides tutoring. It's a safe environment for those kids to go to. We're super proud of the fact that we're able to provide that for them. We do a holiday camp, a spring break camp. Basically, any time that school's out, we're trying to help the parents that need to go to work. And then we also have, for our little ones, we have preschool Picassos. That's for kids 2 to 5. We do ask that an adult helper come because we do not want those 2 to 5-year-olds on our own. But they have projects that they do, usually related to our exhibitions or to a certain artist, and they're very fun. Very excited that we just established the AMS Teens program. It's a group of teens council. They work closely with museum staff. We set up seminars with them, workshops with artists. Last year we did a financial literacy group with them where we were able to kind of break down, okay, if you're valuing your time for this much and your supplies cost this much, how much do you need to be charging for your artwork? How are you going to make a living as an artist? And then they sold their artwork at one of our Third Thursday events, and jointly they made over $800. So they were very pleased with that. We also do a lot of partnering with the university. We try and collaborate with certain classrooms out there to get the kids out of the classroom, the young adults out of the classroom and into the community so they can start to build those relationships. And so usually around a certain exhibition, we'll try and create a project that allows us to get them either in the community working with us or down to the museum working with us. We're going through reaccreditation this year, and so we just approved a new strategic plan with 4 main pillars: accessibility, merit, sustainability, and transformation. Accessibility is really important for us. We want everyone in our community to come to the Art Museum of South Texas, or at least have the opportunity to come. And so we're trying to provide, take away those barriers that might keep people away, and one of those is the cost barrier. So we now have 4 free days every month. First of all, we have First Fridays. Museums has extended hours. We're open till 9 o'clock that night, and same night as Art Walk, so people can go back and forth, and we're open all day long. Then we have Second Saturdays. We just started this last year. It's more of a family focus, I would say. We have a lot of art activities. We have entertainment. We also have a shuttle that goes from the Garcia Center that we provide. So people can go to the Garcia Center, shuttle to the museum, and then they do a brief art tour on the way back. So it takes them to the other locations. It goes to K-Space and does some of the murals, goes to the art center. So we're trying to provide that so we get, take away also the transportation barrier for people. Third Thursdays, by far our biggest attended free event. We create lots of unique experiences for that night. You can come do yoga in the galleries, educational programming. We have local vendors, entertainment. And then we just introduced 4 Sundays. We're open for free on the 4th Sunday of every month. It's just another opportunity for people to visit us without having to pay. And then one of the projects I'm really proud of that we just started this summer is Sensory Mondays. We partnered with Driscoll Health Plan, and we invited families in that actually they did the inviting because they identified the families. And we're closed to the public on Mondays, so we have more control of what we can do. We can dim the lights. We can, less sound. We set up sensory stations that directly related to, so for this summer we had King Ranch, so we might have an area where you could hear a cowbell or smell grass. We had docent-led tours, we did art activities, but I think what was the most important aspect of that is, you're only as happy as your unhappiest child, and oftentimes when someone has a sick child, all the focus kind of pivots to that child. And this was an opportunity for the family to come together. And so the siblings that may be overlooked are getting to go do something fun. The parents who are exhausted are able to come. We have someone, an adult person there that can talk to them on their level. It was so well received. Everyone really appreciated it. So we're definitely planning on moving forward with this one and increasing it. We'd like to open it to other areas. We're currently working on doing some 3D printing so we can bring in people that are sight impaired. So we're done a lot of training also on dementia. So we really want to start moving into some of those areas. In conclusion, we're so grateful for our new windows. Thank you. We can definitely see a difference with that. We're so excited with the HVAC upgrades that are going to happen. I don't know what the solution is for the barge dock, but I know it scares me. And these are pictures from Alberto and Beryl, which were not direct hits. And so you can see the water was, feet away from penetrating the building. I would just, welcome the conversation to start. Yeah. And I'd rather be proactive in this instead of reactive. And like I said, I don't know what the solution is, but I'm here to talk about it.
Thank you, Sarah.
And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for what you will do. I probably sound like a broken record when I say this, but we've never had the relationship that we have with the city ever in the past. We sing your praises all the time. We acknowledge what you're doing. We love the fact that you acknowledge that we are a city building and a city program. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, that's great, Sarah, and a city partner that we acknowledge, right, for the past 5 years. So thank you for those comments.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Any questions?
Ms. Campos. Oh, excuse me, hang on. Hold on. I'm out of practice.
Sarah, I just wanted to also sing your praises. Thank you so much for all that y'all do for the community. This is so many programs, and I am getting educated all the time. Every time that I take the opportunity to go to the art museum, it's always in awe. You go to different events and you're thinking, you're just going to go and eat or what have you, but it is an awesome space. And I also took the advantage this last time that I attended, that I took advantage of the water gardens. How has that been for the art museum?
It's been so fun. I love seeing people out there. I mean, it's like any day, any time of the day that I arrive or I leave, there are people out there. And we're so excited to see all that activity out there.
I was hoping to hear that. Yeah. But anyway, thank you again so much for all that you're doing for the community.
Yeah, thank you. And this is just a portion of what we're doing. They wouldn't let me have 8 hours.
Yes.
So I just picked a few things.
Yes.
Yeah. But we didn't make you wait till...
That's right, here at the front. Sarah, thank you so much. Thanks for all you're doing. And we have taken note on the the water issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Can I just add that Proposition F that's on the ballot, the reauthorization of the 1/8 cent for the seawall? The seawall parameters go all the way down to the art museum and around to the
Right.
ship channel, so it would be an eligible use of those tax dollars if the community reauthorized it
Okay.
under Proposition F. So we could improve the seawall, and then we also know that Proposition E has monies for city facilities to include the art museum. That's under Proposition E, so we can make continued improvements at the art museum, like chiller replacement, window replacement, that type of thing. So both Propositions E and F that are on the ballot could address those pictures that we saw from Sarah this morning.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, it's 12:07, so we're going to proceed to item F, which is public comment, and I'd like to take a quick moment to emphasize the importance of this business meeting. We handle significant matters concerning taxpayer dollars, making it imperative that we uphold the highest standards of decorum and adherence to our policies. Our core principles of openness, transparency, and inclusiveness guide our actions, and we aim to achieve them while respecting our city policy, which has been in place for 30 years. Public comment serves as one avenue for communication, but it's certainly not the sole method. You can also reach out to members of this council by way of phone calls, emails, or even scheduling an in-person appointment. With that said, let's proceed to public comment, keeping in mind the importance of decorum and adherence to this policy. Before we begin, I'd like to ask City Attorney Miles Risley to review the council rules of decorum, and these rules will also be displayed on the television above for our audience's reference. Mr. Risley.
All citizens must be courteous, polite, and respectful of one another, including the city council and city staff. The mayor and council members shall be referred to by title and/or title surname. All remarks must be addressed to the mayor and city council and not to the council members as individuals. Citizens are only permitted to speak on city-related subject matter. Speaking on any non-city related matter is prohibited. Loud, boisterous, profane, or obscene language or behavior is not allowed. Citizens must refrain from any disturbing noise, demonstration, or other act disrupting to the council business.
Thank you, Mr. Risley. So individuals will be called upon in the order they signed up electronically. We will first hear in-person comments, followed by virtual public comments. Residents of Corpus Christi will be given priority over non-residents. Please state your name and address prior to your comments. You have two opportunities to make public comment on an agenda item or city-related business. First is at this time, and second would be when the item is actually heard. So please select one option. Citizen comments are limited to 3 minutes, while non-resident comments are limited to 1 minute. A visible timer positioned near the city secretary's desk will assist in managing that allotted time. And if you have a petition or any relevant information that you would like us to have, if you'll please hand it to her first before you speak, and she'll distribute it to us. That would be appreciated. So first up is Mr. Sean Flanagan.
Good morning. My name is Sean Flanagan. I live at 4218 Herndon Street. The American Library Association has funded and originated a banned book campaign. This book here that I hold in my hands, Genderqueer, I checked out of the Neyland Public Library. Our libraries have 2 copies of this book. Here is a copy of the book that I got online. Here is, if you want to, you can get it on Amazon, Or if you want to do half-price books, you can get it here. So the most banned book in America is widely available, as is every other book on the banned book list of the American Library Association. Their campaign is built on fraud. Second misconception, I've given you the first thing that's folded over. This book, which is in the Neyland Library, available to minors, is its autobiography. The author has chosen to illustrate throughout the book her sexual fantasies. If you look at what I have folded over, that's just 3 pages from this book that's currently in the library. So why do we have sexually explicit books in our library right now? It's because the library policy was cut and paste from the City of Austin's library policy. City of Austin goes with the American Library Association's viewpoint that any censorship or any age restrictions on any material is censorship. That flies in the face of why you appointed a new majority to the City Library Board, because you wished them to come up with a policy that says, hey, parents should have some control over the type of materials, especially sexually explicit materials, that their children should see. I draw your attention to the other page. This is the current proposed reforms of the City Library Board. They actually set up a procedure where parents can control if their kids are going to see adult books or not. They specifically define, taken from Victoria County, what are sexually explicit materials, so it's not an opinion. Further, if you look at where I've illustrated, or I marked out, if you look at the bottom of page 3 and the top of page 4, you will see language that explicitly has a diversity and inclusion section in it that's really good. In other words, a lot of stuff's been put out saying these new policies are going to ruin diversity and inclusion. Absolutely not true. The critics of this policy, I've asked, have you actually read this? The assistant city attorney at the last library board meeting had not before she went up to make comments. If you've read it and you still disagree with this, I got one question. Why is it so important to you that sexually explicit books are available to minors in our libraries? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flanagan. John Weber?
John Weber, 609 Naples Street. I will be addressing the mayor and city council regarding city-related matters within my constitutional rights, according to the city attorney, section 5J. This email was sent on March 27, 2023, after the media reported on the secret MOU that council members were working on. The email is from Councilmember Puzley to Councilmember Hernandez and Councilmember Suckley. It is titled Walking Quorum. Quote, to my knowledge, there has not been a challenge to the appeals court ruling, signed Mike Puzley. Why would Councilmember Puzley send this email to the other 2 council members that helped write the MOU? Did he do it to try to reassure them that they had not broken the law, or was it for another reason? This email contains 2 links. The first link goes to this page that addresses the criminal conspiracy provision being struck down because, quote, we conclude that this provision is unconstitutionally vague on its face. The second link goes here regarding gutting a part of the open meetings law. These both came out around March 1st, 2019. This slide is from the state-required training for city council members. It references the bill that revised the section that was ruled unconstitutional. All the council members on this email should have taken this training and should have known that the links Councilmember Puzley gave them were to a law that had been since revised. It is possible that they did not take the state-required training. It reads, section 551.143 now makes it an offense to have deliberations outside an open meeting among a quorum through a series of communications that individually do not involve a quorum, but when combined involve a quorum of members deliberating about a specific item of business of the governmental body. Only the council member can tell us why he sent the links to a ruling that no longer applied to the law in place at the time he and the other two council members wrote the MOU. As always, have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Weber.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a statement of fact.
Hold on. Hang on. Yeah, turn your light.
Once again, Mr. Weber presents a very unsubstantiated account of why I sent emails or didn't send emails. He makes accusations that have no basis and no fact.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember. Joe Hopkins.
Hello, City Council. My name is Joe Hopkins at 6009 Lago Vista Drive. I'm here to talk about item 17 in regard to the job development internship program at Texas A&M University. I just wanted to tell you a success story regarding my CPA firm. Been a CPA for 29 years, member of the area since Hurricane Celia. Also developed the Police Officers Christmas Angels, very involved with that. Y'all have a program that is unbridled in this area. I have reached out to many other places across the nation, and we have a very valuable tool here in utilizing that program. The intent is to keep people local through the university. I have since hired 7 people through this program, and it's been very powerful in retaining people, not only through the accounting firm, but through any industry. Not only do I think you should approve it, I think we should even market this even further. I think a lot of y'all have businesses. Are y'all even aware that y'all could hire through these through this program? A lot of people aren't. So I'm just here to, reinvigorate that. Within 4 years, these interns, I have turned over the reins to them. Today is October 15th, Tax Extension Day. I am here with y'all because they are managing the firm. So we have clients in 35 states and doing a bang-up job. What they do is they just reimburse $7 per hour for a maximum of 20 hours per week. This is not a budget-busting, target idea, but just wanted to let y'all know that we need to grow this program and do what we can to take it to the next level.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Hopkins. Hilario Ortega. Oh, I sure did. Hilario, I'm sorry. Elena Martinez was before you. Is she here? Yeah, you can just have a seat right up front here. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Councilman.
Elena Martinez, 9320 SPID. I made public comment at the City Audit Committee on September 24th. Since I stayed for the rest of the meeting, I made note of some things the committee said that I'd like to address today, since the public doesn't have the ability to respond in real time. First of all, I'd like to join the Audit Committee in congratulating Mr. Zanoni for updating the purchasing policy after only 5 years of being in office. I'd also like to introduce the City Council and the citizens of Corpus Christi to City Policy HR 39.0, signed into effect in 2012. This policy defines types of fraud such as abuse and impropriety. Moreover, this policy outlines the responsibilities of city management. City management is responsible for instituting and maintaining a system system of internal controls to provide a reasonable assurance for the prevention and detection of fraud, misappropriation, and other irregularities. So again, congratulations, Mr. Zanoni, for finally doing your job after 5 years and $109,000 in raises. I'd like to address one of the committee members' comments regarding sales tax exemption and how difficult it is for the average employee to have that information on hand when traveling or out shopping. The form for sales tax exemption is publicly available on the State Comptroller's website. It takes about 30 seconds to complete. I've taken the liberty to partially complete the form and show just how difficult it actually is. We have the name and contact information for the exempt organization and the seller, a description of what is being purchased, the reason for the exemption, I've entered city government here, and the signature, title, or positions of the individual making the purchase and the date. Please take note that no EIN or tax ID number is required for this form, and the form actually has a note to this effect on the bottom. Next, I'd like to take a moment to look at some statistics published by the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. On average, organizations will lose 5% of revenue to fraud each year. According to the city website, revenue for fiscal year 2024 was over $1 billion. 5% of that is $50 million. A typical case of fraud lasts 12 months before detection. In government, 19% of cases happen within executive and upper management, and in those cases cause the largest losses. More than half of the occupational fraud is directly related to poor internal controls or overriding and failing to enforce existing internal controls. Here, you'll see the 8 most common red flag behaviors. Maybe council and city management should review these and think about anybody that may fit these behaviors. You may have noticed I have a red flag and I am wearing red. The people of city are taking notice of the red flags and we're starting to waive them. I do have more red flags. If anybody would like them on a break, I will not disrupt the meeting. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Hilario Ortega?
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Ortega. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. Dedication, loyalty, and commitment.
Sir, can you please state your address? I'm sorry.
Oh, my address? 6765 Wood Iron, Corpus Christi. Dedication, loyalty, and commitment. When you own your own business, these are the must-have qualities needed to be successful. These are the same qualities of the Del Mar College Apex Accelerator advisors. Their assistance has elevated my business to grow each year and become successful in government contracting. In 2010, I started my company and heard about the no-cost services provided by the Del Mar College Apex Accelerator. Since then, I've attended seminars, meet the buyer events with local, state, federal agencies, and received small business certification assistance, all at no cost. Also, each week, I receive a bid list from the plan room announcing open bids from around the coastal bend. Over the course of 14 years, Apex Accelerator Services have aided me in winning about 90% of the bids I have submitted to the City of Corpus Christi, Nueces County, and several state agencies. As a client, I've had the benefits of 5 different procurement specialists. Each one has proven to be as knowledgeable and helpful as the next. I could not have accomplished this without the expert guidance of the Del Mar College Small Business Development Center, an invaluable source for any small business. And I can't forget the help of the Lift Fund program, who has also provided loan assistance. My business would not have achieved as much success had it not been for the Del Mar College Apex Accelerator program. It would be extremely difficult to continue my business without their service and expertise. And there again, I'd just like to say that they also make it a level playing field for competing with big business nationwide. I've outbid nationwide companies because of their help. Wow. These forms to fill out are not easy. You know, you need help. And I'd like to thank them for that, their staff, and my mom and my brother for being supportive of me since day one. And that's all I have, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Thanks for being here. Okay, next we have Christopher Takachek. mispronounce your name? I know. Sorry. Okay.
Well, that's okay. I know, I'm looking forward to it, so it's okay. It's a great program.
All right, everybody have their literature?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, hello, my name is Tyler Tahasik, and I'm at 7002 Yorktown Boulevard, a 28-year-old hospitality major at Del Mar College. First, I want to thank you all for your hospitality and the opportunity to speak on behalf of one of the top 10 community colleges in the entire nation. This was credited last year by the Bellwether College Consortium. Shout out Dr. Escamilla. When I first learned about the small business internship program, I was working as a front office manager at a local hotel. While yes, I was in my field of study, I felt unfulfilled for various reasons. The stress from work was beginning to affect my home life, and I found myself struggling under an autocratic boss who wanted things done their way and nobody else's. I'm sure you guys can relate. I felt like I was outgrowing my position and the company that I was at, but I stayed for two main reasons: for financial stability and because they were able to work around my school schedule. Ironically enough, well, you see, finding a new job that met both of these needs was a challenge indeed, no pun intended. Ironically enough, at Del Mar job fair, right, that had nothing to do with SBDC, I met Michelle. How awesome of a school. I had the chance to assist Michelle with a few events while still working at the hotel, but unfortunately I wasn't able to give her all of my time. She provided the flexibility that I needed for school, but unfortunately she wasn't able to match my then current earnings. Thanks to the internship and the unconditional support from not only Michelle, but from Jackie, Ariana, and Del Mar College, we were able to make that happen. I am now thriving in an almost stress-free work environment, right? And that is able to accommodate my school schedule and pay the bills. Our city's futures and future success lies within this school. Just think of the impact that this extraordinary program can have on our students as they strive to secure a Corpus Christi career, not an Austin career, not a San Antonio career, but a Corpus Christi career. The SBIP not only supports struggling students by providing financial accommodations, but also offers invaluable experiences and networking opportunities. And I'm sure you, as politicians, know how important that is to gain these experiences and these networking opportunities early on. This program is a great way for us as students to get ahead of the competition. So I will leave you with this thought. Is there anything more vital than the future of our future leaders for our community? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Michelle Riddell.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. My name is Michelle Roddle, 2417 Nemec Street. I'm the owner and operator of Beauty and the Bistro Catering. Been in business for just over 22 years, literally serving Corpus Christi and the South Texas region. Had the honor of catering for City Council on numerous occasions over the years. Thank you. The food service industry is notorious for three things: hard work, long hours, and low profit margins. So in my business, every single penny counts. One significant challenge has always been recruiting and training quality employees. We typically see many candidates with little, very little, or no experience. They're chronic job hoppers and those that don't really know what they're doing, so they're just using us as a stop along the way. The constant cycle of the recruiting, interviewing, and training is very disruptive and costly to day-to-day operations. I've been so pleased with the quality of interns that the Small Business Internship Program has provided with me. I have utilized students in the culinary, hospitality management, and the business administration programs. They're all dependable, hardworking, and motivated. They're very eager to learn, and they offer fresh new ideas and perspectives on recipes and processes. This program has proven to be a reliable source of talent, which has helped me significantly reduce my hiring expenses and stabilize my team and bring me peace. The match that the grant funds provides to the students on top of what we pay them has helped me to offer competitive living wages, retain the talent, and afford me more time to focus on growing my business. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your ongoing support of this vital program. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Gary Aguilar.
Hello, my name's Gary Aguilar, and I'm at 6017 Garden Court here in Corpus. And I'll start. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to be here today to talk about someone who has been instrumental in my journey as an entrepreneur, Darcy Shaw. I first met Darcy in 2019, right after retiring from the Department of Homeland Security. At that point, I was ready to transition to entrepreneurship, but wasn't sure where to start. That's when I reached out to the Small Business Development Center at Del Mar College, and thankfully, I was connected to Darcy. Recently, I was excited to hear that Darcy had become a leader in cybersecurity. Naturally, I attended her main cybersecurity event just a few weeks back, and it was eye-opening. Her knowledge in the field is not only impressive, but practical. She gave us tools that I've already begun implementing, and we continue to apply new parts of her strategies each month. If it wasn't for Darcy, the SBDC, the Apex Accelerator, I'm not sure if I would have been able to open high-speed supply and sell 7 tractor-trailer loads of disinfectant to the state of Texas, and work with a local manufacturer to sell Alpha Gun oil, the best firearm oil in the world, endorsed by retired Navy SEAL Don Mann, who stated to me that he uses Alpha Gun oil on all of his guns and knives. But now I share with you our proudest moment with Darcy, and with the whole group here. We opened Premier Martial Arts, bringing discipline and exercise to the kids in our community. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you to the City of Corpus Christi for working with us and allowing us to conduct a 6-week self-defense course for the kids in Corpus Christi. We will never forget being warned that only a few kids would show up, and then being told the day of the event that the admission had to be shut down at 150 kids. Because of this, my wife and I saw a huge need for martial arts in our community for underprivileged and youth at risk. We have donated our paychecks so we could sponsor these kids in our community. After donating our checks and still seeing a huge need for more funds to help more kids in the community, we were compelled to open a nonprofit to the martial arts programs. Operation Kids Foundation was born a few weeks back. Now we are pounding the pavement looking for sponsors to help with our mission. So to anyone looking for a coach, a mentor, or a cybersecurity expert, look no further than Darcy Shaw and this group out here. She embodies the value of strong, insightful leadership that makes lasting impact. Thank you, Darcy, and the City of Corpus Christi. I was looking for Mr. Gonzalez, but I think he's already at the Jazz Festival, maybe. But I wanted to give a big shout out. I mean, he is huge, and that's how we reached hundreds of kids in the community. Those people who promised to go to certain areas, We went to those areas, and we stand proud of that. So my last thing is, to all those small business, Corpus Christi and the surrounding area, Red Rover, let Darcy come over. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. Susie Saldana?
Susie Saldana, 4710 Hackle. I come before you today because I'm really appalled that our city is being sued. It's being sued because of all the lack of process from this council. Our illustrious mayor is named 31 times in this lawsuit. Also, one of the things that really bothered me in looking at this lawsuit is that it says Mayor Paulette Guajardo privately solicited a fellow councilman's vote during the public meeting in violation of Texas Government Code Section 551.021 and 551.143. You know, to me, you are the keepers of the process of Corpus Christi. Your job is not to run the city, it's to set up policy. I was also appalled that Councilman Barrera went on television and chastised the city manager, which would, to me, is a violation in itself for publicly reprimanding an employee in public on television. So it seems to me that these council people need to go back and review what their job is, to set policy, not to run the city. Set policy, not to run the city. So I am very appalled at this behavior. I'm grateful that the person filing the lawsuit is not asking for money from the taxpayers. He's making a request to get it straightened out in your process. It's a shame that we, the citizens, have to go through this extreme in order to get things done by this council, and especially the people who I've named. So have a great day.
You too, Ms. Saldana. Brian O'Callaghan.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm Brian O'Callahan, father of 3, grandfather of 5. First, I want to thank you, or
Mr.
whoever.
Callahan, can you please state your address? I'm sorry to interrupt.
414 Chase.
Thank you, sir.
I want to thank you, or whoever's responsible for all of the cool flashing amber lights on the left turns. I really appreciate that, rather than having to sit there for a while. So I appreciate that. The one that affects me most often is turning left onto Airline off Ocean. So I appreciate that. Next, I'd like to make a couple of suggestions. I understand that the machinery that adds fluoride to our city drinking water has been either in disrepair or is not working. And what I'd like you to do is consider maybe not putting it back on. About 3 weeks ago, September 24th, federal judge Edward Chen ordered the EPA to strengthen its rules around fluoride in drinking water. Currently, the rules say 4 milligrams per liter. And the study by the National Toxicology Program in August, report came out in August, found that 1.5 milligrams of fluoride in the drinking water is sufficient to pose neurodevelopmental risks in children. So they're going to be in the process of it. 3 cities so far in the U.S. have decided not to put fluoride back in their water. 2 of them in New York, and 1 of them here in Texas, Abilene, has decided not to put fluoride back in their water. So I'd like you to at least, all the smart guys in the water division, the civil engineers and all those guys that do the work, that they at least think about not putting it back in for us. Last, I represent 5 generations of library lovers. A couple of library stories. Back about 40 years ago, I took my firstborn son up to visit his grandparents, Katie's folks, in Pennsylvania, and then went up to Boston to visit my grandmother and aunts and uncles. We got there and we're telling stories over the kitchen table when my grandmother walked in with a bag of library books. And she proceeded to make quick book reports on each one of them. She got to the last one, she said to my aunt, "Constance, take this one back. It aroused my passions. 82-year-old woman, and a 30-year widow, by the way. So after a brief report, she said, take it back. We all chuckled. Flash forward to about 2 years ago, when we almost lost a middle school grandchild to sex trafficking, mostly due to a mixture of sexually explicit material in the library and sextings. We were within hours of losing our grandchild to sex trafficking. If you as parents and grandparents want to introduce your minor children or grandchildren to sexually explicit stuff, be my guest, but please check it out from the adult library section and then share it with them.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. Rachel Caballero.
Rachel Caballero, 522 Hancock. Thank you all for the welcomed hiatus of spending less of our tax dollars. Unfortunately, with a full-time elected mayor, conspiring was still going on. I want to say a huge, huge thank you to our Corpus Christi firefighters for handling and protecting me and my building from a fourth-floor stove fire a few weeks ago. It required 4 trucks, hustle, and proper guidance to the community to keep us safe. So thank you so much for jumping into situations like that. I would like to make a suggestion for adding a requirement that the city council approve the city manager's monthly reimbursement expenses. It is idiotic to have his subordinates approve his expenses. That's why you guys are in the situation that you're in. I would also like to request an immediate audit on OVG, Oakview Group, the group that manages the American Bank Center. A report out of Dallas has shown misallocation of $5.7 million in donor funds to cover day-to-day expenses. Could this be why the American Bank Center has been running at a loss for so long? Can we start welcoming reputable companies to our community instead of ones that always seem to have questionable history and questionable finances? I mean, this is common sense. Also, I would like to ask for a requirement that city council members have to actually sit through the public comment before they can make a statement of fact. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Caballero. Juan Rodriguez. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ready? Juan Rodriguez, 7914 Visual Drive. I'm going to start off by saying, Holy Spirit, I'm here. Use me as your instrument. I want to pray for you, council members. Open eyes to see, open ears to hear. Okay. Is that better? Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to say a little prayer for you guys and ask the Holy Spirit to come in here and open eyes to see, open ears to listen. I ask for insight, for discernment, and to give you guys the courage to stand up and do the right thing. I've been listening to this argument for a while. I've heard that we want to ban books and there's no sexually explicit material in our libraries. In your hands are printed a couple of pictures they're from books that are currently in our libraries. One of them you can hang on your fridge, the other one put on your bathroom mirror whenever you get ready in the morning. Would you do that? I think not. And if your answer is no, it's probably because you find it offensive, and I thank you. Because as a father of 5, I also find it offensive and not educational. The only reason that nobody's sitting in jail right now is because they're illustrations and not photographs. But these images will plant bad seeds in the subconscious, which are harmful to our minors. They will grow, and those branches will be sexual deviance, promiscuity, early pregnancy, fatherless homes. You get the idea. It was said that it'd be better for me to hang a millstone around my neck and cast myself into the sea than to harm one of the little ones. I'm asking you to trust the science. This harms the little ones. But don't believe me, go to nih.gov, read the harmful effects that this material has on adolescents. Nobody's asking you to ban books. We're simply asking you to make this material restricted to minors. Gas stations have got this right for years. They put it behind the counters. They don't mix it with the comic books. So why can't we get this one straight? Years ago, my dad gave me a book. It's called The Naked Communist. I can't find it in our libraries. I know it's not banned. I have access to it right here, along with any book that I want. This one is actually entered in Congressional Record, January 10, 1963. You don't have to read it. I printed the highlights for you. I hope that someday you look at those things so that we can see how we got to this moral decay. I'm here today to ask you to make a stand. Pick a side, no more fence riding. Voting's about to open up, and I want to vote my values. Karl Marx said his objective in life was to dethrone God and destroy capitalism. And I say, hey, thank you, Karl, for letting me know which side you're on. Thank you for taking a stand. From my understanding, yes, you do set policy, and the manager carries it out. Isaiah 10 warns, woe to those who write unjust policies. Woe to those who write unjust laws. What are you guys going to do? Voting's about to happen. I want to vote my values. America's a healthy body, and its resistance is threefold. It's patriotism, it's morality, and it's spiritual life. If we can undermine these 3 areas, America will collapse from within. I pray that you can see the undermining that's happening right now, and I pray that you take a stand against it and do something about it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Joel Gonzalez.
Hello, my name is Joel Gonzalez, 6013 Oriental Avenue. I'm here today to talk about, well, let me start off by saying I lived in Corpus Christi all my life. I'm a product of CCISD. I'm a product of Del Mar College and Texas A&M University. I recently retired about 2 years ago as a lifelong educator, teacher, and assistant principal administrator with CCISD. So I know what I'm saying when I have roots in Corpus Christi. I decided to open up a business as my retirement plan, and was looking online for some resources, and I came across Del Mar College and Del Mar College's Small Business Development Center. So I reached out to them, and in January of 2022, they reached out back to me. Victoria, who's back there, is my mentor. And even with all the books that I read, all the online resources that are available through our government, I was still a little scared of opening up a business. And so we talked regularly for about 6 months, and then I had the opportunity to buy out a business that had gone out of business. And it was scary. It was frightening. Even though I had schools sometimes of 1,000 students, it was very frightening. But Del Mar provided that opportunity. I can still now, even 2.5 years later, I went from 2 employees to 10 employees. We sell about $600,000 of products every year. It is a small antique business right off of Alameda. Many of y'all might know it's called Antique Row. It was originally Betty's Trash to Treasures, and now it is Boxes from the Attic. It had gone through 2 different owners that did not make it in that area, and we are thriving. I've gone from 2 employees to 10. Our sales continue to increase, and we have a lot of business, and I'm very pleased with that. Having said that, Del Mar provided a lot of information: how to file reports, how to file my LLC, how to help me with taxes, how to do certain banking things. Even though, again, I was very comfortable with reading the literature, it was always great to have that mentor right there tell you exactly what you were doing was correct. Even going downtown and filing a DBA. Things like that. And so I cannot sing the praises of Del Mar College And this program, the Small Business Development Center program, has helped me extremely more than I can say. I sing their praises all the time. I constantly refer new small businesses to them. Some of them have taken me up on it and have come back and told me, oh my God, that was the best advice you could have ever given me. So again, I just want to thank Del Mar College. They are extremely a valuable asset to our community. And the Small Business Development Center has helped me continue to make my business successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Jan Robertson.
Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. She's handing out the paper.
You gonna pull that? Yeah, there you go.
That good? Good morning. My name is Jan Robertson. I reside at 3933 Wagner Lee Drive here in Corpus. I want to thank you for allowing me the time to summarize the issues happening at our gateway community at Padre Island National Seashore. I am a volunteer at the seashore at the Sea Turtle Lab. And I know y'all had the opportunity to listen to Mr. Eric Brunham on June 18th of 2024. And I just wanted to kind of summarize what exactly is happening and how it started and what's taking place. In 2017, some sea turtle scientists in the state of Florida demanded that the pens seasonally and permanently disallow public access by vehicle to the beaches on the park and to allow sea turtle nests to remain in situ by U.S. Fish and Wildlife Region 4 nesting management. An administrator who seeks sea turtle grant programs by the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation and distributes billions of dollars of Deepwater Horizon fundings informed the PEN's chief of the sea turtle program that they would no longer provide any funding for sea turtle and nest detection unless the park permanently gets the vehicles off the beach. Contrary to Region 4, PENS advises to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Region 2, Texas Open Beaches Act and PENS enabling legislation protects the right of public access to unrestricted beaches within the park. In 2010, the Park Service initiated a National Environmental Policy Act called a NEPA. After extensive public input, a preferred alternative was selected. The National Park Service and Regional Director signed a finding of no significant impact, a FONSI, and it carefully represented the balance between beach access interest and the international critically endangered species. In March of 23, only 11 years after management under the 2012 process, the motivation of the National Park Service to abandon the plan to develop that project is unclear. No effort was made during the pre-NEPA process to provide a rational explanation for this change. We feel the superintendent should explain clearly what circumstances have changed in the last 11 years that require a new approach to beach access and the sea turtle program. A seasonal or permanent closure of beach is not feasible due to the public's constitutional and unrestricted beach access. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Robertson. Daniel Resley.
Daniel Resley, 2313 Louisville Drive, Corpus Christi. Aren't you all getting tired of hearing about our library situation? Please, please encourage the library staff to consider the seriousness of this issue and make updating their policy a priority. I presented you a copy of the recommendations by the library board for changes to the Corpus Christi Public Library collection development policy. I understand that a lot of your current collection development policy is from the city of Austin. Come on, really? Austin? I'm surprised anybody is following anything that comes out of that city. So, I hope you all didn't toss that in the trash can when I handed it out before. Examples of these books, as you've seen, are readily available. I don't understand why anyone would be opposed to protecting the minds of our children, just like we do with movies and music. Anyway, bottom line, why is there so much opposition to helping protect our children from sexually explicit material? And one last point. At our library board meeting, there was an interruption by a sitting council person that people felt was very unprofessional. Somebody sent me something that I didn't realize, but you all have a code of ethics. If you're going to be violating any code of ethics, well, you're asking for Pandora's box to be open. I'm one of the most unethical persons alive. So be careful what you ask for. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Resley. Michael Steinman.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Steinman. I reside at 7522 Vaquero Drive. I'll read from a prepared statement for the purposes of brevity. Madam Mayor, good morning, good afternoon. City Council, Mr. Zanoni, thank you for having me here today. My name is Michael Steinman, and it is my distinct honor to speak before you today. I'm here to offer a testimonial about the Contractor Resource Center at Del Mar College. The Del Mar College Contractor Research Center is a partnership between the City of Corpus Christi, the Corpus Christi Type B Corporation, and Del Mar College. Their program is designed to assist local businesses by expanding their capabilities in different areas needed to compete in the commercial arena for current and future projects. To fulfill their obligations to our community, they provide the following services. 1, training webinars that meet the needs of businesses in commercial contracting areas, such as bookkeeping, accounting, insurance, and other small business needs. 2, access to a construction software bid tool to view area projects. 3, access to the plan room at Del Mar College Center for Economic Development to print plans and specifications for local commercial projects at no cost for their clients, of which I'm one, by the way. Publish a contractor-ready list of their clients and capabilities that is shared with the Corpus Christi Regional Economic Corporation and large industry partners. And 5, distribute the weekly leads list by email. I first became aware of the CRC when I was a program manager in Del Mar College's Corporate Services and Workforce Development Department. They were my neighbors across the hall, as well as being my neighbors in assisting small business here in the Coastal Bend. I have recently established my own small business consulting firm called Steinman Financial Holdings, LLC, here in town. And of course, Martha Ruiz, who is the program manager for the CRC, was one of my first calls. She has connected me with job opportunities, provided opportunities for my professional development, expanded my professional network, and been a trusted friend and advocate for me and my business. So impactful has been the influence of the CRC on my business that I advise each of my prospective new clients to join the CRC as well. A notable example of the CRC's capability is something that I experienced with my first business client, which is the Galley Bistro and Bake Shop, located just down the street at 924 South Staple Street. Within only a few weeks of the Galleys association with the CRC, they were able to secure a contract with Gulf Coast Growth Ventures to cater both breakfast and lunch for over 100 employees for GCGV's Meet the Buyer contracting event last month. Martha and her team at CRC were able to arrange that introduction that proved to be a needed boost in revenue for the Galley and help them showcase their talents and abilities to not only one of the leading industries in the Coastal Bend, but also a whole new area of our population in Portland and Gregory. I genuinely believe that the CRC is a critical resource for fostering partnerships in between business small and large in our community, and well worth your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steinman. Jason Hale.
Hi, Jason Hale, 211 Lemming. Hi, council members. Today I wanted to ask, what is the city doing to help residents deal with climate change? The reason I'm asking is because of the storms last month, Hurricanes Helene and Milton. According to scientists, storms like these are becoming more intense because of climate change, and they are more likely to become more intense because of climate change. I think we should be making an effort to reduce the severity of storms, of future storms that may come our way, and we can do that by lowering our carbon footprint. Right now, insurance companies are leaving Florida. Texas saw rising insurance rates last year, and this year we were looking at a 10% rate hike on windstorm rates, but that just got shut down. Anyways, people are upset. Owning a home is becoming less affordable, and running a small business is becoming more difficult. I'm concerned that if we don't start doing something now, we'll miss an opportunity to create a more livable future for Corpus. So what can we do about it? I think the best solution would be for the city to create a climate action plan. I think the city is best suited to do that because it is able to bring together all of the local stakeholders that we need to figure out a solution. Because this plan won't work unless we work on it together and find a plan that works for everyone. Last year, the EPA gave out $1 million to 6 different cities in Texas to write climate action plans. I want to make sure that our city is aware of this and that we are ready the next time funding or grant opportunities become available. What's cool about these plans is that it's a one-time expense, and you can design it to where different stakeholders or city departments implement different parts of the plan. It's not a new city department, and I think it would be a huge benefit to the city. So something like wetlands restoration would be a great way to sequester carbon while also making us more resilient to floods and hurricanes. Also, right now, there isn't even a web page on the city's website talking about climate change. I think that could be a good first step. I think it'd be cool if residents were able to go to the city's website to find out how climate change will impact them here in the Coastal Bend. It'd also be cool to identify what communities are most vulnerable to the impacts from climate change and try to address those as well. And that's my comment. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hale. Melinda De Los Santos.
Good afternoon, Melinda De Los Santos, 611 Gulf Shore Place. I'm speaking on my own behalf, and not as a representative of any board or committee. In reviewing public comments made in City Council and Library Board meetings regarding the recommendations to the existing Corpus Christi Public Library Collection Development Policy, I want to address some of the questions of concern. I provided y'all with the questions there. If you want to take out your pens and pencils, so you can mark them in case you didn't do your homework. Okay, so was the Library Board Subcommittee dissolved? Yes, it was, August 9th, 2024. Can a Library Advisory Board review an existing policy and make recommendations? Yes, in accordance with the City of Corpus Christi Board, Commission, Committee, and Corporation Manual, page 11, and the Texas State Library Archives Commission Public Library Advisory Board Handbook, page 7 and 17. Public Library Advisory Boards assist library management in developing policies and budget proposals, advise their governing body on actions to take for the library, may review existing, revised, or new policies, and may recommend policy adoption to the library's governing body. Number 3, can members of the library board submit recommendations to the board for approval? Yes, in accordance with the procedure for submittal of recommendations to City Council. Are diversity and equity in the recommendations? Yes, in the selection and display sections. Was the policy changed since August 2023? Yes, in February of 2024. Did the library board have the final decision in the reconsideration process in the policy of August 2023? Yes, it did. Was the policy changed in February 2024 to the city manager having the final decision? Yes, it was. Do any other benchmark cities use the city manager as the final decision? No, they don't. I gave you a copy of the benchmark cities and then other cities too. There's another city that does in Abilene. And Austin and Plano, I just didn't fill them out, but they weren't. Do any other benchmark cities require the patron to read the library book in its entirety? No, they don't. Have any books been banned since the new library advisory board members were appointed? No. Are there any recommendations of getting rid of the LGBTQ books? No. Are the rights of a parent or guardian taken away in deciding what they want their minor to read? No. Are there any books containing pornography or otherwise known as sexually explicit books in the minor section? Well, according to, I gave you all the definition there of the 20 U.S. Code 9134, the term child pornography has a meaning given such term. Harmful to minors, the term harmful to minors means any picture, image, graphic image, file, or other visual depiction that, taken as a whole and with respect to minors, appeals to prurient interest in nudity, sex, or excretion. You can read the rest on your own. All we're doing is trying to work with the city library and relocating these to where an adult can get the book for the minor if they so wish. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. De Los Santos. Katie O'Callahan.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, council members, manager. I'm Katie O'Callahan. I live at 414 Chase. I see that many items on the agenda today are about rezoning, and I would like to talk about rezoning in regards to our public libraries. I offer a generational perspective of our city library system. My father-in-law was a regular visitor of Corpus Christi libraries. He tutored adults in their reading skills at various branches, introduced our oldest son, now 40, to the world of books. Now, while my husband served in the Navy, our children visited the library in every state in which we lived. Our children now take their children to the library. We have a granddaughter here, age 5, who loves the library. She started participating in Story Hour as COVID restrictions were easing up. The library provided a safe, fun, and welcoming environment where she's made friends. She knows many librarians by name. And last month, at the promotional time, she received her first library card, which we celebrated. She invited her classmates to Nayland's Hispanic Heritage Party, which doubled the attendance that day. So she is one of the best little evangelists for the library that you've got in this town. She has charged through all the aisles, pulling out books in every aisle just to see what these books are all about. She doesn't know one section of the library from another. The The whole place is her library. In her browsing, she might pull out a book that contains explicit material. Well, I'm here to say that once you see something, you cannot unsee it. The library is not the place to lose your innocence in that way. Our local library, Nayland, went through restroom renovations. I found out this week Nayland is still going through restroom renovations. And this all started during the summer. 4 months now, the only restroom option is 2 porta potties sitting out in the hot sun on the street. Our librarians and I have seen a decline dramatically in use of that library over this period. But the library saw the need to do this for the future. I fully support updating our library policies. These changes will clarify some language that has turned political, and it will rezone rather than remove explicit material. And all of this is to protect our most valuable resource, our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Callahan. Adam Rios?
Good afternoon, council, city staff. Hope everybody enjoyed their Happy Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday. I'm not being politically correct, that's just what we say. I'm here to talk about some events that are coming up.
State your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry, Adam Rios, 7301 Tangled Ridge Court. I'm glad we're bringing up Texas Jazz Festival because I did want to talk about that. I think we're on 65 years now. It's something that I did growing up here in Corpus with my family. The fact that it's free and fun should be an open, like just welcoming to anybody who has a chance to go. Take your kids. It's a great time. Learn some music. Also this weekend, we have the Halloween Skate Bash, where my company, along with 8 other companies, are offering another free fun event at Westcouth Skate Park. We're providing prizes for the kids for best tricks, best costumes, and the Indigenous peoples of Corpus Christi have offered to show up and also pass out candy for the kids. Again, another free fun event here in Corpus. The following weekend, as a member of K-Space Contemporary Board of Directors, we will be once again throwing our Day de los Muertos Festival, which is a multicultural event that drew over 35,000 people last year and made it the 3rd largest Dia de los Muertos event in the country, a number that I'm sure we will exceed this year. Also free and fun. The following weekend after that, we have Art Walk, which, as you know, now has an attendance average of about 15,000 to 16,000 people every month. Also free, also fun. The day after that, Makeshift Company out of San Diego, as well as my company and a little shoe company known as Vans, will be throwing a competition also at Westcouth Park. We will be doing a skate giveaway of over 100 decks at Whataburger Field that day. Whataburger has stepped up and become a major sponsor for this event, also bringing a lot of attention statewide. The day after that, my company is getting together with the Exchange downtown to promote a documentary premiere that is actually happening here in Corpus Christi. The surf and skate community is excited about this. It's the story of a gentleman named Sid Abruzzi, who was an idol of mine growing up. He had a surf and skate shop in Rhode Island, of all places, if you can imagine. And he was just completely rooted in his community. He wanted every kid to surf, every kid to skate. Through hardships, unfortunately, and decades later, his shop got unfortunately torn down. He wasn't able to maintain it anymore, but he really was a cornerstone of the culture. This also is a fun and free event. I brought him up because the question has been asked to me several times, and I usually bring it back up again. Why do you care so much about skating and surfing and the BMX community? Because those communities welcomed me from day one. I always felt like I was part of something. I always felt like I had a home. It created a legacy. And that's all I aspire to do with this city. I love this city very much, and all I want to do is bring more people to enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rios. Philip Magash?
Hello, excuse me, Philip Magasich, 14313 Scallop Street. And I've been involved with the Sea Turtle program since 2010. And I'd like to comment on Superintendent Eric Bruneman's report that he gave to you in June. And he did have some, what I would consider, misinformation, and the biggest factor that he was talking about was the economic impact to the city. And he created a straw man when he said that it's $10 million that people were claiming that they would lose from the sea turtle releases, the hatchling releases that were no longer happening. By the way, there was only 3 this year, so they used to have 20 or even more than 20 generally, and now they had 3. So if you think there's no lessening of an impact from that, well, then it's just not true. And I'll use his numbers that he gave you. He said that they figured that about $31.9 million is added to the city merchants because of the existence of the National Seashore. And he also said that 3% of the visitation to the seashore is generally what we have. So if you take his numbers, 31.9 million times 3%, and you get almost $1 million. It's $957,000. So he seemed to think that that's nothing. Well, he never gave you that number, but I'm giving it to you now. Is that zero impact to the city? I think it is an impact. But they've also done many other things at the seashore to hurt the program. And a major thing is they have lessened the visibility of the program. And one of those is by less hatchling releases. Another is the sea turtle program no longer has their own Facebook page. And he used that as an excuse that, oh, we can't do that anymore. But the problem is, when the Sea Turtle had its own web page, they can put timely things on there. Now what happens is when we want to put things on there, it's never done in a timely manner, if it's done at all. If you look at you should visit that web page and see. I guess that's all I got time for, but I will write something up and give it to you as far as his testimony. Thank you.
Thank you. Susan Glass.
Hello, I'm Susan Glass, 617 Catalina Place. And because of you, City and the Council and Lift Fund, I am the proud owner of the Singer Store and the Avon Store here in Corpus. I got the Avon Store by myself, but it was very small. I needed to expand. I ran into many brick walls. I met Lift Fund. They are the nicest people in the world, by the way. And because of them, I took my little store. Now it is literally 8 times larger than it was when I got it. I have 12 employees. And I'm trying to, and I just wanted to thank you for helping me be successful. And I want to pay you back by generating lots of city tax money to give you back. Okay.
We appreciate
So thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. Wow. Well, we know that program works. Okay, so that concludes our in-person public comment. I think we have one person who is, no, they're here. They're just out of town. Somebody, okay, Jeb Bradshaw? Yes, Jeb, come on back down. So sorry.
Good. My name is Jeb Bradshaw. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. My second home, I like to be about 30 to 50 miles down Padre Island National Seashore. I am a co-founder of Pescador Coalition. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, by the way, for listening. That stands for People Engaged in Sea Turtle Conservation and Access while Defending Our Rights. There is a history of Eric Bruneman being dishonest as an NPS superintendent. He has been less than honest with you when he spoke here. We aren't crying the famous Texas battle cry, "Come and take it." We didn't ask him to come here, and we certainly didn't ask him to take away a world-renowned successful program, a program that brings in millions of dollars to this local economy. I appreciate you listening today, because Eric Bruneman has not listened. He hasn't even allowed us to speak at past hearings. We're not going to stay silent. We're not going to go away. We're in this together. I urge you and the council to reach out to your federal elected officials. You can find us at pescadorcoalition.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bradshaw. And that concludes our public comment. So we're going to just pass the consent agenda, pull any items, break for lunch, and then we'll return to continue with the agenda. So is there anybody, would anybody like to pull any items between items 5 and 21 for specific discussion? Yes, sir.
17 and 21.
Number 17 and number 21. Anyone else? 16. Number 16. Okay, with that, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items 17, 21, and 16.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please submit your votes. Okay, the motion carries.
Oh, Mayor, I just wanted a quick reminder to the council and the public about the 2/3 vote requirement that goes into place today. So Article 2, Section 15 of the Charter states that within the period beginning 30 days before any regular election and extending to taking of office for the newly elected council, any council action whereby any appropriation of money not included in the budget is made, or a contract or an obligation of the city is to be created, or a franchise granted, or any zoning or rezoning ordinance passed, requires a 2/3 vote of the council to pass, and that's 6 votes. If you notice on the agenda today, there's on the captions, you'll see that it says 6 votes required on those particular items that meet that threshold. And the most affected items are grants, contracts, and zoning cases. That's what you'll notice today. And again, these items will require 6 votes to pass instead of the usual 5 votes.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. Okay, and it's my understanding 32 was pulled? Is that correct?
The executive session?
Yes.
Okay. Right, yeah, we don't need that executive session, so we're going to pull 32. We're going to handle it in open session.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
33. Okay, so we are going to break for lunch and go.
Jim, did you pull 17 because you
Yes.
want to abstain? I think that's the only reason, so if you'd like to get up, I'd move to approve. Second.
Okay, so item number 17 was pulled to abstain. Councilman Klein will be abstaining. So we have a motion, we have a second. Submit your vote, please, on item number 17. Well, it's items 5 through, do we need to change that? Okay. Well, and just for the public to know.
Yeah, click abstain. Oh, someone hasn't voted.
Item number 17 is what we've heard so much about, which is a motion authorizing 8 Corpus Christi B Corporation small business assistance agreements with the following entities for 1 year: Lift Fund, Service Corps of Retired Executives, Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi, and 5 with Del Mar College for a total amount not to exceed $1,076,700 to assist small businesses within the city of Corpus Christi to create jobs and investment. So that has passed with Councilman Klein abstaining. Okay. So with that, we are going to break for lunch, and we will be going, the council will go into executive session on items 33 per Texas Government Code Section 551.071 and 551.087. We will return. Okay, we're going to go ahead and reconvene our meeting. We are on item J, consent agenda. We have item number 16 that was pulled by Councilwoman Campos, and this is a resolution authorizing the submission of an application to ASPCA for a national shelter grant for our Animal Care Services Department. Ms. Campos.
Yes. I had a question about, had we ever applied for this grant before? Who's here? The 16?
The memo said
item?
no.
No,
Okay, the memo
no, but before, had we applied for that grant before? Why?
The
This
memo
one
said
there.
no.
The memo said it's first time.
Okay, I missed it then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, it's a good job, though.
Thank you.
It says the city has not previously applied for this grant.
I know, but why is that, Peter?
Well, we just got the grant writer recently.
Is that what it's
Yeah,
from?
we added another one in the budget, so that may have something to do with it. And we have a new fire chief. He may have been aware of the grant program. We're a former staff man, Rodman. Good program, so we're continually looking for grants.
I can't believe it that quick. All right.
Yeah.
I move to approve.
Okay, move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
do you have comment, Mr. Suckley? Okay, we're going to vote here.
Yeah, no, just to that point, I was gonna take the opportunity to give kudos to staff. Whoever found the opportunity to apply for that grant, that's huge, $100,000.
It is.
So I hope that continues.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, please submit your vote.
Only took me 3 years.
It's paying off.
Okay. Okay, the item carries. Next item that was pulled was from Councilman Klein, and that is item number 21, ordinance authorizing a 3-year lease with Elizondo Tennis Foundation. Councilman Klein, your question or comment?
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me a sec. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mayor. Robert, I asked you this by email. I just wanted to kind of answer it or ask it again here in the council chambers as well about this. I want to know what the current rental rate was. I think your clarification was that we're not actually receiving any money from this. The money's going the other direction right now. Help me clarify that.
Actually, yes, sir. It's a management agreement right now, and we pay them to manage the facility for us, and we're moving to a lease agreement, which will mean we'll be getting some revenue back. If you look in the presentation, there's 15%. We'll have either 15% of their net revenue or $2,500 a month, whichever is the greater.
So just for clarity, what has been a city expense is going to become a source of revenue, although slight. Is that correct?
Sir, I'm sorry.
So what has been a city expense is going to become a source of revenue.
Yes, sir. And all that money will go back into the tennis facility.
Right. The other question I had, and I asked you this as well, but we've had this conversation before, I wanted to ask you this as well in the city council chambers, has to do with the public restrooms, or the formerly public restrooms at the tennis center. There was access to those restrooms for the general public utilizing South Bluff Park. That has been fenced off, I guess, I don't know, a year or maybe 18 months ago or thereabouts, something like that. I wanted to know if it'd be possible to reestablish kind of public access to those restrooms again for those, not just those who are using the tennis facility, but the general public using the park there as well.
I think once we get this agreement moving forward with our leasee, I think that can be some discussion that we will have with him as well. And we've had a little bit of discussion about it, so we'll continue that once we sign this agreement.
All right, good. I'd really like to be able to kind of to reestablish that public asset, restrooms for the park going public there. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Councilman Hunter?
Thank you, Mayor. So why, first of all, I think this group's great, but why were the different groups offered different percentages? One was 15, 25, 35. The other one was 20, 30, 40.
Once Josh, I'm going to let Josh take this question.
Thank you, Councilmember. Josh Cronley, Assistant Director for Finance and Procurement. The rates published inside of our request for qualifications were just sample rates, and in the solicitation in multiple places we described that those rates would be negotiated with the high-scoring firm. So the rates published were kind of our hope and ask, but were not the final negotiated prices. And so if a different person had been the higher scoring firm, then that individual could have also negotiated those rates.
Councilman Suckley.
Thanks, Mayor. Just one question, and I know I appreciate the briefing and additional information yesterday, Robert, you and your team. But with respect to the financial statements and how the net revenues is reported, I didn't see it in the agreement, the type of financial statement preparation that was required. I always like to see personally, CPA prepared financials or something that, so there's no question as to how the books are kept, the chart of accounts, what's applicable and what's not, and so we all have agreement on what the bottom line is.
Right. In the agreement, we'll receive financial reports from net revenue, gross revenue, and expenses, and then we can ask at any time to review those documents or document the financials. And I know he's got a financial person that he works with.
Okay. I would probably make it a part of the agreement as to what everybody's in agreement is acceptable financial reporting, just so there's no question.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Councilman Roy.
In regards to Councilmember Klein's conversation about the restrooms, one of the things earlier, I was really impressed with that restroom that was part of what we voted on earlier for the
Packery Channel.
Yes.
Right.
And the problem that we've had in the past is just who's using the restroom out there in the Owl Cruise and some of the issues that we've had because of that. That doesn't mean that I don't think maybe we should look into having a restroom at that park there. But I think in terms of a cost perspective, that's an excellent idea. Is that a new concept? Is that type of a restroom that it's basically you take it and drop it on site, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it looks good.
Looks good.
You can secure it. You can put a security camera out there. You can do.
Yes, sir. They're very, very well designed, well used, and last week I was able to spend some time looking at some of those restrooms and other facilities like that. So
well,
definitely, I think moving forward we'll use those more.
Yeah, keep those in mind. I was really impressed with that. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to ask this question again. So, Josh, on procurement, you are able to negotiate who's the best, and then, first of all, I think this group's great. Let's just get that out of the way. But if you're going to negotiate down, why wouldn't you give all the other people that are negotiating for the...
So this is a qualification-based solicitation. It's not a bid. They didn't include or a proposal. The pricing was again something that we published as our ask, as our desire. But what we were doing is we did a qualification-based solicitation to try to find the most qualified group to run the tennis business at our locations. And
Sure.
So that was the goal.
This is going to be directed at the council. Just. Did anybody else get informed of this information that I'm discussing? Well, everyone's on their phone, so I guess not. Basically, there was a percentage of net revenue for years 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at 25, 35, and 40%, and that's what everybody was supposed to bid on.
Councilmember, if I may, I apologize for interrupting, but there were no bid documents. There's no pricing included in anything that they submitted a statement of qualifications, and
okay,
that's what they were graded on.
Sure. I mean, we call that bidding in the private industry.
Sorry, sir.
So I just find this really strange, and it's not like every day we go back and rework the percentage numbers afterwards. I mean, or it's not very common that it comes up to us, maybe on these specific types, but it's rare that we do that. So I don't feel very comfortable on this one. I'll be voting no, just because I feel like it's an improper process.
Okay. Any other questions? We have a motion, we have a second. Please submit your vote. This is item number 21, yes. Okay, the motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Dodd. It's going to take us to item L, public hearings, items number 22, 23, 24, and 25. Item number 22 is an ordinance annexing and rezoning Clarkwood Estates subdivision and a portion of County Road 36 at the northwest corner of Clarkwood Road and County Road 36.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. Daniel McGinn, Director of the Planning and Community Development Department. This next item is an ordinance approving the annexation and zoning for a property located along Clarkwood Road just south of Highway 44. On here on the location map, the city limit line is that black dashed line. The site is identified in yellow. You can see it has a current subdivision that's within the city just south of it. We have a manufactured home park just to the east on the other side of Clarkwood. A mobile mini operations is recently located on the east side out there. And then we have Border Patrol is just to the north, and of course the airport and the L&F beer distributors just to the east there on 44. So just to orient to the location. The proposed project is 87.5 acres. They're also proposing to zone it to the 4.5, which would lead to 476 units on that site. They do have one lot that will be dedicated to stormwater. The developer's approximately, he said, a 5 to 10 year build on this. And at this time, he's saying $250K would be about the average price, but we know that can change a bit.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Councilman Klein?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks for the presentation. I asked you this by email as well. I just wanted to kind of double check and ask it again here as well. I just want to be sure that I'm clear about this. The memo indicated that the city will not be providing health or animal care services, public health or animal care services to this region. Is that correct? Did I understand that correctly, or am I mistaken in that?
No, that would be inaccurate. No, once they're in the city limits, all the residents would have access to our animal care and/or health department.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought. All right.
Yeah,
that's
apologize
good.
if that was.
And so all the other city services would be offered to this region then as well, solid waste services, code enforcement, all that sort of thing as well?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's all I had. Thank you.
Councilman Pusley.
Yeah. My concern on this is, and I'm very familiar with this area, as I'm sure Councilman Roy is, but drainage out here is a big issue. And that road, when we annex this, are we going to take over responsibility for the road as well?
That's
because
correct.
It barely classifies. If you go look at it on Google Earth right now, it barely classifies as a county road, let alone a city road. So what's the plans there?
That's correct. State law does require, when we have an existing county road that is on the kind of the exterior of the proposed annexation, it does have to come into the city as well. And so it would be a road. It'd be similar to some of the other annexations that we've recently done, County Road 33 and some of the others in the London area. But yes, the road would become the responsibility of the city.
Do we have funding set aside to bring that road up to specification? Because you're talking about 400 plus lots. And, the number of people that are going to be using that, two cars can barely pass each other if they're meeting each other on that road. Yeah. I just think this has some real problems that planning hasn't looked at. Well, but drainage is another big one. This area out here, and if you look, bring the map back up that shows the whole area. Mm-hmm. It kind of illustrates it. It illustrates it better, but you see all those light shaded areas. surrounding this, that's where the water stands when we get substantial rain. And the stormwater ditch over there is maintained by us for a certain distance, and then I think the county maintains it after that. Is that not correct?
I know, of course, it drains east, and then eventually that ditch then makes its way to Oso Creek. I don't recall as it moves south, I'm talking about the green line here, if it does meander out of the city before it gets into Oso Creek.
Oh, it does. I assure you it does. But I don't know. And I know the platting and whatnot never comes back to the council. But, Peter, we better look at this really closely because this is going to be an issue if we're not careful. You'll build houses out there that are going to be subject to water inundation if we're not careful about how we plan this. I will assure you that whole area. I get calls. Well, I had to get Ernie to go out there and clean that ditch out not too long ago. Councilman Roy was out of pocket, and they called me about it, and the ditch was full of water and wasn't draining, so they had to come clean it out. But anyway, that's all I have to say.
Councilman Roy.
Yeah, so that's kind of the reason why, in terms of what Councilmember Pusley said, that I'm so behind this project. I've been working on trying to get some relief to Clarkwood. As far as looking at the streets, and unfortunately haven't had a lot of success. And I'm glad that you basically mentioned the fact that we would have to provide those improvements. I would also suggest that we earmark this now for the next time that it's a little too late to include it in this budget, but we have to do something in the future for it. It's kind of like that Session Street that we went out and visited. It almost reminds me a lot of Sessions. And I know that project's been on hold, but when you take a look at the Tolosa Midway ISD and that you have that RV park or manufactured home park there and all the different things there, and that flooding on the side and just the overall drainage and the elevation drop, I mean, we're going to have to do something there. I think it's great that we're going to be able to get some homes there, which will prompt that. But with that, in terms of planning, you need to make sure that we take that road into consideration. So I'm just echoing what Councilmember Pusley said. Thank you.
Councilman Suckley.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm just following up also with Councilman Pusley's comment about the flooding and the drainage. I'm not an engineer, but 87 acres and 476 single-family lots, and they're dedicating one lot for a retention pond. I just want to make sure, and I understand there was a meeting last week where there was some concern about another outlying development where the drainage may not have been factored properly, or there might be some concern going forward on that project. So again, I just don't want to create any additional issues, additional cost to the city to have to come back and fix things that are left one way by the developer. No offense to the developers, but we just need to be very prudent about that. But it is Councilman Roy's district, and if he supports it, I'll support it as well. Thank you.
And
I'm sorry.
I would just add, a lot of that, as far as drainage and things, do get taken care of through the planning process and the development regulations, and so they do have requirements for how much storage they have and the limitations of the ditches on the exterior. So that is accounted for. The road issue is also something that was looked at in some of the possible UDC amendments. That was something Nina was looking at, exterior road and requirements for developers to improve those. So that's still on that list of UDC things. So there could be scenarios in the future where there could be requirements on the developer to improve that exterior road, which a lot of cities do have that in place. So there could be some things that we could implement that would improve the situation. So.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yeah, I want to go back to drainage here. Because we're doing the zoning here as well, so we're not going to see how that's going to look. Where is it going to drain to if you just create a detention area?
I do have the developer's engineers here. He can probably speak to that a little bit clearer than I can, but the water is going to move from the site east into this green line as the stormwater system. And so there is probably small of a bar ditch, I think, in that county road and then ultimately into county, Clarkwood, but I don't know. If Johnny
So
Prowse, the engineer
we're using the
here.
bar ditch along Clarkwood, North Clarkwood? Or South Clarkwood? I'm sorry, South Clarkwood.
I'll let him address that exact flow line.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Johnny Perales, J. Perales Civil Engineering, 5866 South Staples, Suite 315. Questions regarding drainage, those are very good questions, sir, but what we've been looking into so far is looking at the city's master drainage plan. We have the Clarkwood ditch, which runs parallel to Clarkwood, parallel and east of Clarkwood Road. There's also an existing city drainage right-of-way and tributary ditch that comes up from there about at the intersection of County Road 36 and Clarkwood Road. So we've identified that as the permanent and master plan outfall, which is in general compliance with the city's drainage master plan. So we have to, our challenge is to get there, so we'll have to construct a significant drainage structure across Clarkwood Road with TxDOT approval, and that will provide our primary stormwater outfall to get from this property to the ultimate outfall across the road. And once it's done, it should provide some relief to that entire area, Councilman.
Okay, so you're
right now
you're going to go underneath Clarkwood and all the way out to the ditch that's a little bit further
Yes,
east.
we've done some initial surveys, and the ditch sections out there are very adequate. They will carry a lot of flow.
Will that also help that other, the neighborhood down there, this Scapular, Simon, and Stock area where Our Lady of Mount Carmel Mission is at?
Yes, sir. It should provide, well, it provides this entire area a connection to the major outfall according to the master plan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment on item number 22? Okay, there being no one, we'll close public hearing. And did we have a motion? You made a motion? And we seconded it, okay. Any further discussion? Okay, please submit your vote. Okay. Thank you, the motion carries. Item number 22 is a zoning case number ZN 8435, ordinance rezoning a property at or near 7213 State Highway 361. I'm sorry, 23.
23.
23.
Mayor, if there's no objections, I want to make a motion to approve items 23, 24, and 25.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for items 23, which I just read. Item number 24 is zoning case number ZN 8441, ordinance rezoning a property at or near 11202 Haven Drive. And then item number 25 is a one reading ordinance designating 127.72 acres within the jurisdiction of the City of Corpus Christi as a tax increment financing district to be known as Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 6, City of Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm going to open public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment on items 23, 24, or 25? Okay, there being no one, we'll close public hearing. Mr. Klein.
Just very quickly, thinking about item 24, the zoning case from RS6 to RS 4.5. So the only comment I've got here is that, look at the map, it looks as if this development is going to be within 1 mile of the Epic fractionator, just to the south and west of that. I have some concerns about that. Not enough to vote against this, but I have some concerns about it. I wanted to mention that. People who live out there have told me that Epic's not the best of neighbors, and I hesitate to add to that population.
Well, again, all of the developments that we look at, Mike Tice, Development Services. So the developments we look at, as long as they meet the intent of the UDC, the requirements for traffic, transportation, if it is near or some sort of ACUs, anything like that, those developments have to meet those requirements. So based on the review that we have, everything at this point meets those requirements.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Councilman Busley.
Yes, Mayor, I just wanted to mention, and I'm glad the developer's here, with respect to our park development fund, the park right across the street from this development, the city owns 50% of a great deal of that park. So in the future, when we need to transfer money for parks for that particular development, I know exactly where it can go.
I don't see anybody from Parks here, but I'll make sure to let them know that.
The county owns half of it and the city owns half of it. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure the city, and I had Miles pull up the agreement here a while back, and I just want to make sure the city knows that they own a park there.
You're on record.
I'm on record. Thank you.
Okay. We go ahead and submit your vote, please. Okay, the motion carries. Item number 26 is a resolution authorizing an interlocal agreement with Nueces County regarding the contribution of increment to their reinvestment zone number 6.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make public comment on item number 26? Okay, there being no one, we will close public comment, and please submit your vote.
Trying to vote on my iPad.
I do that too.
Why would it turn up?
Item number 27 and 28 are both on resolutions directing the city planning department to prepare a service plan for the annexation of properties in industrial districts numbers 1, 2, and 4 in Nueces County, as well as 5, 6, 7, and 8 in San Patricio County.
I move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for items 27 and 28. Is there any public comment on items number 27 or 28? Okay, we'll close public comment. Any further discussion? Okay, please submit your vote.
See, we need to see the light, so we...
Okay, the motion carries. Item number 29 is an ordinance authorizing an agreement between the Corpus Christi B Corporation and Del Mar College Foundation.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on item number 29? We did hear a lot about it earlier. Thank you all for being here as well. Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment and submit your vote, please. And thank you all for being such a great partner. We just heard some wonderful testimony today, and that just proves, you know, the effect and the impact that we're making on our community. Thank you so much, Lenora. Thank you, Chris. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 30 is one reading ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of the City of Corpus Christi, Texas Special Assessment Revenue Bonds, Series 2024 Whitecap Public Improvement District Number 1, Area Number 1 project.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment on item number 30? Okay, there being no one, we'll
Mayor,
close.
I'm sorry, can I just recognize three groups that are here supporting this item? We have Steve Yates from Ashlar Development.
Yes.
I want to thank him for being here. Dan from our public finance group, Dan's in the back. And then
Yes.
Norton Rose Fulbright. We have
Matt Lee.
Matt Lee is here with us as well. So we appreciate them. They're all coming from out of town. So we appreciate
Yes,
them for
well,
being
thank
here.
you.
For that item.
Yes, thank you for being here. This is another big step in moving the project forward, the catalytic project. Okay. Okay, there being no one, we'll close public comment, and please submit your vote. Okay, the motion carries. Wow, we're done. Okay, there being no further, do we? I can't see, I need contacts. Where are we? Oh, I already put a big check on. Okay, I'm sorry. Motion, yeah, Zachary, if they're watching, they're not happy. Motion authorizing a construction contract to Zachary Construction Corporation for the Wesley Seal Dewatering System and Spillway Gates Rehab Project. Mr. Edmonds. Well, no one's giving you the
You want a
motion.
presentation on?
He thought this was just going to keep going. Go ahead.
We can give a presentation. So Jeff Edmonds, Director of Engineering Services. This item is awarding a construction contract to HB Zachary Construction for the rehabilitation of the South Spillway to create a system to be able to take the water out from behind the gates so we can work on gates in the dry. It involves a gantry crane and structurally engineered stop logs, and we're also going to remove 2 of the gates and rehab those. So do you want to go through the whole PowerPoint, or?
I'm going to make a motion to approve with one exception.
Let me turn on your mic, because we can't hear you.
There we go.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve, but you have to send me a picture of what a water log or whatever it is looks like, because I couldn't find it in, was it in here? The thing that stops the water so you can dewater the gate?
Yes, we'll send you a picture.
Send me a picture? Okay, send me a picture of what that looks like, just for my edification.
It's a big, these things are about 40 feet wide and about 8 feet. So it's in 3 sections that go into channels that have to be installed on all of the gates. And you'll be able to lower them in there with a gantry crane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you put it in on the water side, and you can dewater behind the gate and maintain the gate or remove the gate if you need to and not lose water.
Okay. No. Good to go.
I would like to make one correction to the agenda memo. It says we haven't contracted with HB Zachary Construction, and that's probably true in the near term. I haven't had any contracts with them. I know they've done some work for some of the refineries, but they actually built the Wesley Seal Dam originally.
They built the what?
They built the dam originally in the 50s.
Oh, Zachary did?
Zachary did, yes.
I'll be darned. Interesting. Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Councilman Hernandez.
Real quick question, because we had this discussion about this particular item and on doing some work on this dam, and there's a gate at every section on this, right? Do you need all those gates to be operational, or how does this, or do you need them to have just a certain amount to make sure you have enough water going over the dam? I mean, is it something that you can reduce the scope of and have fewer gates that do the same job?
I'll tee it up and let Esteban take over. So there's 60 gates total. And what you need to do, this is when you have a major storm event and you've got major flow coming down the river and you need to protect the dam. So there can be cases where you have to open all of those gates.
Have we ever had the occasion to open all 60 gates?
For the record, Esteban Ramos, I'm the Water Resource Manager for Corpus Christi Water. All 60 gates in history, yes, there's been times after hurricanes that all 60 gates were flowing water over them. Most recently, to my recollection, back in 2016, kind of right after the 2013 drought, we had the huge amount of rains coming off the Nueces River that filled the Lake Corpus Christi, and at times we had the lake full at 100% for over like 15 consecutive days. It was the longest period of time.
Released enough water to refill Lake Corpus Christi 7 times.
Exactly. And what we're talking about is the safety and security of a dam structure. If we had
And all 60 of them were open for that event.
water was, yes, we for hurricane events going back to Beulah and in the past, yes. So that's when those gates, all 60, the auxiliary spillway, that's the north, kind of near Sunrise Beach, you kind of see it, that connects to Sunrise Beach. That is the auxiliary spillway. If you ever see that flowing over, the lake is extremely full, and it's an emergency situation, and we're letting water out.
And right now,
water's coming in.
And right now, all of them don't open?
All of them, the gates are operational. This is an opportunity, this is a stop log so that we can maintain the security and maintenance of those gates. So something's, what is it? The Highland Lakes, Lake Buchanan, or Lake Texana has the same similar gate system that we're trying to implement here at Wesley Seal Dam.
Well, I mean, they're already there, right?
No, we don't have protection at Lake Texana, yes. At over there at Lake Travis, yes, but not at Wesley Seal Dam.
Okay.
There isn't a stop log system for the protection of those gates so that you can work on it currently.
Okay, so you just if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you'd have to do.
It fails, it fails.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Councilman Hunter.
I was just going to request to be able to vote on both items, but if I can't, I can't. Because I missed that one.
The one before?
And run to the, yeah, I was just going to do aye.
Can you do that?
Join the team.
He'd like
I have
to
to ask permission from the council.
Yeah. Councilmember Hunter
vote on the
was
previous
absent on item number 30, so he just wants his vote recorded. So if y'all are okay with that, we can
Yeah.
record his vote as aye for 30.
Does anybody have objection? No? Okay. So it's unanimous then, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have anybody else? No, okay. And I believe we have a motion and a second for this one?
I didn't hear a second.
Okay. Who seconded this? Dan Suckley did. Please submit your vote.
Gilgo?
The motion carries. Okay. All righty. Well, there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Good job,
So
Mike.
we're at 3:26.